Make me the commissioner of any sports league, and the most important trophy you could win would not be most valuable player. It would be greatest teammate. Like many sports fans, I root for the underdog. I always want the underdog to win in almost any game unless I have a team that I'm rooting for. And so with that, I think I've always sort of had this spot in my heart for walk-ons. I love the walk-on story, a guy who's out there playing for the pure joy of it. Many of them don't ever get in the game, but talk about how important they are to a team, especially during the season on the practice squad and all that sort of stuff.
What's interesting is many of the walk-ons could be best friends with the stars for a variety of reasons. Room with them and all of that. And because you're a walk-on, you're there, you're putting on the same amount of effort that everybody else is.
Right.
So you're really there because you love it.
Right.
That's why you're there. And that love can spill over in some of these 4- and 5-star superstar athletes to give them the same feeling about why they're doing what they're doing, right? It creates a chemistry, I think.
Oh, it's interesting because they see the walk-on busting butt and not even getting playing time, but just for the pure love of it.
Yes.
And it's a reminder to the 4 and 5 stars, hey, I love this sport too, and
Exactly.
playing for the joy of it.
Yeah, no glory at all. They don't get to, maybe they get to try out on the field for special teams or something like that, but no one's going to know. They're not going to catch a winning touchdown pass typically, or throw the winning touchdown pass, or run for the winning touchdown pass, or make the key tackle to save the game. So it's, but they're there, part of the fabric of the team.
Yeah. So there's the chemistry part that you refer to, but also just talk about the pragmatic part. You need guys on the field to practice against, and they can run the scout team, and they can do all these different things that allow your team to prepare. So even though they weren't in the game for the victory, the preparation that led to that victory oftentimes is very incumbent upon their efforts.
No question about it. When you have a great scout team, look team that gives the starters the best opportunity to compete against what they're going to be competing against on Saturday.
Right.
That's what they call it, look. They give the best look of what they're going to see in the game. When you have good guys back there that are busting their butt and really putting forth a good effort, it's going to lead to a better performance in the game.
Yeah, so if they're going up against a group of guys who aren't really giving it their best effort, then they're not getting their best practice. And when they're not getting their best practice, now they're going to go play against the varsity on Saturday or Sunday or Monday or whatever day of the game of the week. And like, whoa, yeah, like.
You got to be smart. They want you in the right positions. It's not just you're just kind of hanging out there. You got to be in the right position. You got to, from a defensive perspective, you got to fill the correct way, and you got to put forth the right level of intensity. I mean, you're not going to, bust the chops of the quarterback.
Right.
You get thrown off the team.
Where's that red shirt for a reason?
Exactly. Right. But just you're putting energy into it and effort and in the right spot, and during the game, the starters know what to expect because they've had it in practice.
Yeah. Your son Michael was a walk-on at SC. Talk about his experiences and talk about also how at some point he just decided, I've made this team, I've done my thing, and now it's time to move on. And what happened next? Because I think it's a great story.
Yeah, Michael is the oldest, the best athlete in the family. I think you could ask all the members of the family, and they would agree. And he was really good. Unfortunately, he was a little undersized.
Right.
But he grew up with USC, and he just, a highly confident guy, and he felt like, hey, I'll figure this out, and I'll get on the field, and I'll be a starter someday. And that really wasn't panning out the way he thought it was going to pan out. I mean, a place at USC, Pete Carroll was the head coach. They're bringing all these studs in from all over the country, so it was very difficult for him to even get in the scout team reps.
Yeah.
To even get the scout team reps was very challenging for him. Yeah. And so, walk-ons are viewed differently than scholarship players, typically. Yeah. And there's inherent amongst the players, there's this validation, hey, I'm a scholarship guy, you're paying for my schooling and my food and my room and board and all that stuff. So walk-ons don't get that. And so there's this unsaid messaging that you're part of the team, but you're really not part of the team. You haven't made the varsity yet.
Right.
And so he was dealing with that as well,
Yeah.
not feeling like he was really ingrained into the team.
So he got
the way
to
he'd
a
like
point
to be.
where he just decided, I've decided maybe I shouldn't do this any longer.
It's not going to happen for me.
Yeah,
This
so
is not
he
going to happen for me. So
move
I'm-
on and
yeah.
study, work on my academics
Yes.
more, and
figure
just-
out what I want to do with my life.
Right, all that. So he more or less quits. I guess I was right.
Yeah,
in
left the team.
Season, left the team, and then spring practice rolls around, and they ask him back. Why they ask him back?
They needed some help. Is the reason they asked him back. I think Matt Leinart was having elbow surgery. Billy Hart was playing baseball. Another kid, I think Rocky Hines, transferred to maybe UNLV. So they were short QBs.
And they didn't have anybody to run the practice.
Right.
They were very short. And so Michael just agreed to go back. Wait, who was the guy? Wasn't it Sarkisian who at the time was offensive coordinator who reached out? Was he to you or to him? I can't remember the
He
story.
reached out to me because I was on campus for some reason at practice or something like that. I can't remember, maybe a workout. Anyway, he saw me and Pete Carroll said, "Sark, go talk to him." So and I'm like, what's going on? Am I getting fired as the broadcaster?
Shouldn't I be hearing this from somebody else other than the offensive coordinator?
So Sark and I talked, and he basically said, "Hey, we really need Mike. We really need Mike to come back, and because here's why." And so I called Michael, and we talked about it, and he agreed that he should get back. It had been a good 2 years on the team, and he wanted to help his teammates, and because they were in a bind, they wouldn't be able to have as good practices as they ordinarily would have had.
Right. And there was really nothing in it for him at that point. It wasn't like they said to him, "Hey, you come out to spring practice and you have a shot at the starting quarterback position," or anything like that. There was no quid pro quo. It was just, "Hey, we really just need you to kind of help fill out this practice squad."
100%. Yeah, 100%.
And he just said, "Okay, you know what? These are my guys. I'm going to do that for them."
Yes. He said, "These are my guys. I want to help them out."
Right. And so he does spring practice, and now he's done, and now it's time to sail off into the sunset.
Right.
Now his career's over. And he again leaves the team more or less.
Yes.
And then what happens?
Well, I get stopped again by Sarkisian. Same kind of deal. I'm on
You
campus.
and Sark, man.
I'm like,
Hook 'em horns.
he says, "Where's Mike?" I go, "Well, wait a minute. You need him for spring. He came for spring, and that was sort of it. Now he's moved on with his life." And he said, "Well, we really need him." I go, "Well, you call him. I'm not going to. You call him.
Right.
I'm not going to relay the information."
Right.
Well, what happened was a couple weeks later, Michael is, and this is now June or something. They're doing summer workouts, so Michael's not there, and he happened to be, I think, maybe riding on a beach cruiser down to the beach. His cell phone rings. It's Pete Carroll.
Wow.
And Pete calls him and says, "Hey, I just, we love you in our program." He's trying to pump him up, like.
Right.
And so Michael's like, "What's this all about?" And then he finally says, "Will you come back? I mean, and we're gonna pay your way. We're gonna give you a scholarship."
Wow.
And Michael was just like, over the moon with that because that's validation.
Yeah.
Finally got validation for it.
Right.
And he responded and came back and had another 3 years and was the holder for field goals and extra points and trotted on the field through a couple TDs in mop-up duty. One actually against Washington was a fake field goal that was needed because the Trojans won, I think, by 4 or 5 points in that game. So, yeah, so he got to fulfill his dream of throwing the ball around the field a little bit and getting up under center and really participating in a team's success.
Along those lines, his first touchdown pass, you later told, I think it was Lane Kiffin, that it was your favorite play ever or something. I don't remember what it was. Can we tell that story?
Well, I was introducing Lane Kiffin at a Trojan function at the Balboa Bay Club, and I said something to the effect, I mentioned about his accolades, his resume a little bit, and I finished with, and by the way, I just want to say this, my favorite coach ever that I get to introduce. And I could see his eyes turning and looking at me like what? Where's he going with this?
Yeah.
And then I answered, I described why. Because he called this play.
Right.
On 3rd and 3 on the Arkansas 5-yard line where the Trojans were going in, he called a play action pass for Michael. And of course, he threw a great ball, but it was even a better catch by Jimmy Miller because he was down and away, but Michael put it in the only place he could put it. Anyway, that was his first touchdown. He throws the first touchdown, and I was in the booth with Peter Arbogast, and we got to call it. I almost fell out of the booth.
Right.
When that
yeah,
happened.
that's awesome. So it's just it's great. And I think the lesson in all this is being a great teammate goes across in a bunch of different ways, but it all comes back to just putting others first and really serving a group, serving a community, serving whomever, and good things are going to come back to you.
We live in a what's in it for me society. We do. And everyone's measuring that when they get asked to do something. Okay, so if I do this for you, what do I get out of it? And they want it to be an equal transaction, if you will. And I believe that it's very empowering to do something outside of your ego for the benefit of others or a community or society or your family or something or some entity outside of yourself, right? There's great, tremendous power in that. And that's what really Michael did. He did it just to benefit his teammates and his coaches because they needed him with no expectation of anything. And yet out of it, he gets a scholarship.
Right. And just the experience of being on a team that went to Rose Bowls and all the
Won
different
2 national
stuff.
titles.
Right. Like, how cool is that, right? And,
Unbelievable.
And being a part of that team, not feeling like you said earlier about maybe not feeling so much a part of it, like he getting an opportunity to contribute. We all want to contribute.
Yes, we do. We all want to feel like we're a part of the greater whole.
Right.
And then those sorts of things can change the course of your life, because he's recognized as being part of the team. He has 2 rings and his, 3 or 4 Rose Bowl rings because he was part of those teams. And it's just a cool thing that he was part of that, and it's something that you'll never be able to forget.
And back to your point, again, we do live in a society where everything is transactional, and I often tell people if they're kind of stuck in a rut, the best thing that you can do is go out and volunteer. Because when you're volunteering for an organization, first of all, you're feeling better about yourself because you're helping other people. And so now maybe if you were down in the dumps a little bit, your confidence comes back a little bit. Your feeling of self-worth comes back a little bit because you see the value in yourself because what you're doing is helping others. And then on a practical level, you meet people, right? And you get out there and next thing you know, you got a little bit of a network. People who volunteer are typically good people, positive people. Now you're meeting good people and, being around good people leads to good things.
Yeah, it's... At the end of the day, we can all accumulate a lot of things, but it's how you can influence others, what you can give to others that can make a difference in their lives and the lives of a group of people. That's and that's where we need to come from in how we live. Not expecting it, but just freely giving of yourself with your time, your money, your resources, and when you do that, good things are going to come back to you.
Hey, Paul.
Yeah.
This is the part where we're supposed to tell people to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Okay, will you please do that then? I mean,
Yeah.
if you enjoy it,
Yeah.
please do.
And if you don't, do it anyways, because we need your help.
We do.
Also, we have a website called GameChangeNation.com. Just go there and subscribe and you'll get tons of free content.
And what we're really trying to do is create a community of people that love sports.
Yep.
And the great lessons that we learn from sports, but we want to hear from you.
We do. So we're going to have a bunch of social media pages from TikTok to Instagram to Twitter to Facebook. Instagram, I probably already said all of them. Please join them and tell us your stories. We'd love to hear from you. Oh, and we wrote a book.
Oh,
Forgot about that.
Forgot that.
The book is called Through the Tunnel. It's available on Amazon now. If you go straight down here to this link that you can see below us, you will be able to purchase it. We'd love it if you could do it.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.